Resolution 333-23 strongly urges the Office of the Mayor to increase capacity and funding for the Hawaii Fire Department to proactively mitigate the potential impacts of wildfires. Introduce Ms. Kirkowitz.
I'm Nancy Carr-Smith, resident of Waimea. As part of the Waimea community, I can share that we've had several very scary fires in the last couple of years. In July 2021, the Mana fire burned more than 40,000 acres, threatened and harmed parts of Waimea and threatened Waikalua Village. It was a frightening week, and a hui of us got together and fed those responding to the fire 3 meals a day for 7 days. The community supported this. On August 8th, there were 3 major fires in our community: Lalamilo Farm Lots, Mauna Kea Beach Resort, and Kohala Ranch. The winds were fierce and the fires could have been so much worse than they were. Countless homes were saved, and our guys and gals did amazing work in those few days. The Waimea Community Association jumped on feeding the firefighters for 3 days and did what we could to work with other groups who were also responding and supporting. We received over 150 individual donations during that week. It was amazing. What I've learned from all this is that the stations are often not as fully equipped as they could be. Perhaps not everyone is trained in wildland fires. And as stations and equipment begin to fail, we really have to stay on top of having sufficient funding for replacement, rebuilding, as well as training and equipment. The volunteers make all the difference. I've been told this time and time again. And while we've been blessed to have angels among us on this island who help supply off-road vehicles that are appropriate for fighting on this big island, and new helicopters to replace the old weathered ones, we still have to fund the maintenance, equipment, and operators for these rigs. We cannot give up on supporting the volunteers. I can't help but think that if Maui would have had volunteers, that it might have been a different story there. We're blessed to have 18 volunteer stations on this island.
There are clearly needs that have been building up year over year. And so wanted to put something forward that really calls on this administration to prioritize fire, investment in the department, in mitigation and prevention measures so that we can mitigate potential impacts of wildfires. We have seen our fair share as a county. We saw the unfortunate loss and devastation on Maui. And there have been instances where here on our island we've been dangerously close to being like Lahaina and Kula. And so everything that we can do to support our department and ensuring that they're safe and they have everything that they need to respond safely and effectively is incredibly important. In years past, each mayor has had a very specific budget priority, and I'm hoping that this upcoming fiscal year it can be for fire.
This isn't these kind of events that are happening are not in the sense of just throw more suppression at it. It has to be a full picture that we're looking at. How do we start mitigation? How do we work with communities and things like that? So some of the things I put in the supplemental packages this year, which I am looking for funding, are kind of aimed at more of that holistic package. How do we work with communities? How do we work with Firewise? How do we work with, our county council members and our legal laws in terms of going in and clearing from VAD, or addressing these vacant and abandoned dwellings, to addressing, properties that have got just fire hazards in terms of the amount of grass and things like that. But generally there's a variety of things, and most of them do actually cost some money. So there's an ask there, obviously.